adversities and afflictions can be a season in which your faith grows. Now, the book of James is a fascinating study. It's written by the half-brother of Jesus, and he's writing to a people who are going through some really hard times, and they're scattered abroad because of the persecution that had come upon these early Christians. And he's reminding these Christians, which is a reminder to us, that you will go through hardships and challenges, and it's not so much of what happens to you that really matters. The big difference maker is how you respond to the trials and difficulties and challenges of life. James chapter 1, verse 2, "My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into divers temptation, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. Let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given unto him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him." You don't think that trouble is inevitable. Job said, "Man that is born of woman is a few days and full of trouble." That is, the longer you live, the more trouble that you have. Life is not so long. It's just certainly going to be filled with trouble. That's why Solomon, one of the wisest to ever live, said this, "For all his days are sorrow, and his travail grief, yet his heart taketh not rest in the night, for this is also vanity." Now, I'm not sure that it's fair to characterize everything that we're going through in this moment a trial. I think sometimes in all suffering, adversity, and problems, there's some chastening of the Lord. And I think sometimes in all suffering, adversity, and trial, there's a little bit of trial in your life, all designed to cause you to see the real you and then to focus on the God who really is, not the version of God that you want him to be. So today, just for a minute, let's talk about this verse, to count it all joy, the trying of your faith. To count a trial as joy, to respond with an accurate evaluation and perspective of the difficulty that you're facing, and it's coming to the realization that this, whatever it is that you're going through, is for your good. The trial itself doesn't bring joy. It is the result of the trial that causes you to get a clearer glimpse of who you are in a bigger picture of the greatness of God and his plan for your life. So here's what it looks like, and here's why you should be rejoicing in the trying of your faith. Number one, know this, that God is developing your character. Look at here in verse number 3, "Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, and let patience have a perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing." Now, really great insight. It's not that you become a perfect person, or you become perfect dispositionally, or you become a perfect spouse or a perfect friend. It's that there is a maturity about your life, and your wants diminish to the place that you are much more peaceful, easy to live with, much more focused in life. That's what it really means here when it says that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. Patience is best understood as heroic endurance. Boy, I love that terminology. Remember Romans 5, "We glory in tribulations, also knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope." See, God is not in a hurry to grow you. He is methodical and systematic in his plan for your growth. And over time, God will carefully and patiently prune you and prepare you to be a vessel, a person whose life honors him. And God is at work developing a Christ-likeness of character in your life. It's easy to get short-tempered. It's easy to have a ruffled disposition, but it's really God's greater work to make you into the better version of you, the best version of you, the Jesus-like version of you in the trying of your faith. So not only does God develop our character, but in the trying of your faith, God provides resources to help us. Now, really, there's three resources. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this for sake of time, but you see, there's wisdom, faith, and humility. Those are things God's going to use to develop your character. He says in verse number 5, if you lack wisdom, let him ask of God that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. God is going to pour out on your life wisdom that you and I don't have in and of ourselves apart from him. And as he gives us that wisdom, it gives us the ability to look at life from God's point of view. It means really that we value the fact that God's perspective about our problems are not the same as our perspective. And the wisdom of God changes the way that we see our circumstances, we see ourselves, and we see what God is up to. So we ask for wisdom, but we also can exercise faith in God. You say, how do you get that wisdom? Let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. In other words, it's always this. It's never the size of your faith that's the issue. You can have the faith that's the size of the grain of a mustard seed. It's the object of your faith that matters. So here's the object of faith. Let him ask in faith. You ask God in faith. And if you have just a faith the size of a grain of a mustard seed, God is going to give that to you. If you don't have faith, you're like the double-minded man, literally the double-faced man, the two-faced person that's going in two different directions at the same time, which means that your life in the midst of difficulties and problems and the trying of your faith becomes entirely unstable, and it begins to come apart as you try to live according to the ways of the world and according to the wisdom of God. So you ask for wisdom, you come to God in faith, and then you allow God to humble you. That's what verses 9 through 11 teach us. God brings a man to humility through his trials. And once a man is tested in his faith, it does not matter if he's rich or poor. Humility is actually coming to the place in your life where you recognize that God is in control and you're willing to let God have his way in your life because he, not you, knows way better about the plan that he has for your life than anything else. It is in these trials that a man of low degree realizes that everything in his life that's worth boasting about is his relationship with God. And the rich man also rejoices because if he loses everything, he has the one thing that matters, the relationship that he needs with Jesus Christ. So God gives you resources in the trying of your faith, the wisdom, the faith, and the humility that all of us need. And that leads us to this last thought, that God rewards us. In the midst of the trying of our faith, he rewards us for our endurance. That's what verse 12 is. Blessed is the man that endures temptation. When he's tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Somebody said that you're only as durable, that's endurance, as what you love the most. When you put your focus, when you put at the center of your life your love for Jesus Christ, it's your love for Jesus that will get you through the difficulties and the problems and the challenges of life. I like it when you see in the Word of God that there are winners. And by the way, crowns are given to winners. It's the people that overcome. It's the people that endure. It's the people that don't give up. It's the people that don't allow their discouragement to overwhelm them, that don't get run or have their inner health and strength determined by their outward circumstances. They're people that can look at adversity in the faith, keep their eyes fixed on Jesus and on the cross on which Jesus died, and get from him the power that they need to have their faith strengthened in the times of trials. I know that you and I are going to come out better because of this. And today I'm challenging you in this time and season where your faith is being tried to remember that God has what you need. He's going to give you the resources. Ask for wisdom. Come to God in faith and allow the humbling work of God to produce in you the strength to endure in the midst of your trials. God bless you, and I hope that you have a great day.